All right. Welcome, everybody. We'll get started in about a minute. Let's wait for some more folks to kind of join us and trickle in. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about submitting a portfolio in the DDX today. We'll get started in a little bit. Yes, and if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, that would be great. We love knowing who's in the room. And today's session will be a little bit shorter. I think we scheduled it for 45 minutes, but we should still have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. We don't have very many slides in this one. Right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, feel free and you can go to the next slide. All right, so I am Melanie DeCola. I am here representing the AIA's two climate action pledge programs, the 2030 commitment, which is what we're here to talk about today, specifically submitting your portfolio, and the materials pledge as well. And just a reminder, the 2030 commitment, the reporting deadline is March 31st, and the materials pledge is April 30th. And I'll let Andrew introduce himself as well.
Hi everyone, Andrew Hassan here. You might have communicated with me if you have emailed the 2030 commitment email. I'm manager on the Climate Action Pledge Programs team, and happy to answer any questions throughout. I'll be posting links, resources in the chat, so also please use the chat if you have any questions, and we'll answer them at the end.
Sounds great. Yes. Questions as you go, and then we will allow folks to raise their hand or unmute as we get towards the Q&A section. Just a few updates here that we want people to be aware of. We do have a Dropbox where we save sustainability action plans from all different firm sizes. We do highly recommend that you have a SAP if you're a signatory firm. We also have many, many help pages, which are invaluable when you need a little reminder or have a question that there's probably an answer for it already on the help page. Check those out when you get a chance. And we have two more webinars coming up before the 31st deadline. One is specifically about Autodesk Insight for energy modeling, and they're going to be talking about new features in their program and how you can use their software directly to submit data into your projects for the DDX. And then as we get towards the end of the reporting opening, we have our last minute questions where anybody can just show up, ask us any questions. We'll do troubleshooting. There won't be any slides for that one, so it's just kind of a true open office hour. Next. All right, so we've had some previous sessions in RY25 already, kind of going over a broad strokes of what is in the DDX, how you input data, how you set up a project, and we have also done a specific session on bulk import process. I will do a little bit of that today in a demo just to show you how you can bulk import directly into your actual portfolio submission for the year. It's kind of a two-step process. And then API is what I just mentioned in terms of Autodesk and some of the other energy modeling software, C-Scale, IES, those types that we do have a API connection for directly into the DDX. Next. So if you haven't been into the DDX account in a year, you will probably notice that the tabs at the top of the DDX have changed just a little bit. So I wanted to update these screenshots just to show you that the Submit portfolio used to be a tab of its own. Now it is in the little caret that's next to the 2030 commitment tab. And you will also see research and reports for your firm. And then a whole new tab is the Coat Top 10. That is just for Coat Top 10 awards that will happen in the fall. You do not need to engage with the Coat section of the DDX while you're doing 2030 reporting. It's sort of a add-on for Coat specifically. Next. So I will show you this in the demo, but just wanted to give a little preview of what the portfolio submission page actually looks like, and I'll call some of these out later. But the most important parts of it, once you get to this submit section, is to check your reporting year. It should default to only the ones that you are currently active in 2025 for. And then the little check boxes on the side, and I'll show you how those work. And once we get into the demo, but this is how your submit page will look like if you're not doing the bulk import. And the second part of reporting that you should be aware of is an email that will come straight from the DDX itself. This is a screenshot. This is actually from last year's presentation. It basically looks the same. It will just have the portfolio 2025 when you get a copy of it, but it says basically the same thing. And then it has your badge, which should update for the reporting, the number of years that your firm has been reporting. We did get some response in the past that these were not updating correctly. We can always send you a new badge, but let us know if your records do not look correct for any reason in the DDX. We can help troubleshoot, and you can use that 2030 commitment email address. Next. So yes, this is the help pages, very comprehensive. We do have a specific help page just for submitting. And I was just updating some of those screenshots as well. The submit portfolio page is up under the managing your company dashboard. And as noted in the title there, admins are the only ones who are going to have the ability to submit for your firm. If you do not see a submission option in your dropdown, that most likely is because you're not an admin for your firm. So you'll need to figure out who is the admin, or you could request us to change you to an admin, but we prefer that you figure out who the admin is for your firm. They can do that for you as well if you need full submission access. And then just calling out there's also a page for the bulk import. It'll walk you through that process, and the bulk import guide and spreadsheets are there as well. And always want to call out that we do have an active peer-to-peer network. This is a place where you can go and ask questions of your fellow signatories, something that you think other people might be able to help with. Staff wouldn't necessarily help with, and it's a place to get resources. We just had a post go up about Coat specifically and calling out a little bit if anybody was familiar with the Coat super spreadsheet and kind of the beast that was. There's a whole explanation now that just got posted, as well as we will post upcoming webinars and AIAU courses there. So it's a great place to go and join and get the latest updates. All right. We do, yes, have an active YouTube page. We are constantly adding new material there, as well as this very session will go up there if you want a refresher, if you want to go back and look through the steps again. Maybe you didn't pick it up the first time. It's a great place to go back and just check out sessions. We also have some promotional videos. If you know anybody who's interested in becoming a signatory, there's all kinds of videos that you can share. And then on the right there, you see the Sustainability and Materials Action Plans. This is a little series that we did talking about how firms put together SAPs and materials action plans specifically for their firms for various different sizes. So definitely go check those out. And historically, we have previous years reporting videos. They're all up there if you want to take a deep dive. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the slides. So why don't we actually stop there for a second? Are any questions before we jump into the demo?
Y- yeah, hi.
Yeah.
My name's Kai De Valeria from European Architects. For those previous webinars you did, if someone missed those, do you have recordings of them that can be accessed?
Yes, they're all up on the YouTube, and they're organized by reporting year, basically. So yes, you can go back and review anything that was a webinar, an open office, all of that. So we don't record the ones that are just the ask me anything questions, because that's really for people who are just joining with specific issues, but everything else is up on the YouTube. And also linked on our help pages. You can get to that as well. All right. Let me just get my screen set up. Yeah, thanks for adding. There's a ton of links in the chat there to go back and check out. And I am going to share my screen. All right, great. So you should be seeing the Acme View Architects view of the company tab. This is our internal AIA testing site. But basically the DDX should look similar for you. And wanted to call out here is where all your projects will show up. They will also show up on the 2030 commitment tab. The 2030 tab just removes those coat buttons. So you're pretty much just looking at 2030 projects. And I always like to sort them by reporting year, just so the most recent ones are on the top. So when you have done all your data updates, your phase updates, added everything that you want to add, marked everything either complete or on hold that you might want to do for the reporting year, your next step before you report is to go up to the Submit Portfolio tab or drop down. And it's a pretty simple process. It calls out which step you're on. You just want to select your reporting year. It will default to the most recent one, the one that we are reporting for at the top. And it gives you a snapshot of the active design work as of December 31st, so 2025. And this little yellow box will pop up if you have submitted for the current year in the past. So if you've tested anything or if you made a mistake, you need to resubmit. You will get this kind of warning, but you can always resubmit. It will just overwrite the last submission that you did. So no worries there. All right, you should get a little processing notification here. This is important. Last year we had some issues with people hitting the button twice and it would skip over this very important step here and their data wouldn't necessarily be reported. So the processing marker should solve that problem that we were having. This is step 2, called out up at the top. And you can, by default, they are all selected together, but you can always remove ones that you don't think should be in here. So I'm going to go down and remove the tests. You can also look for anything that's canceled. Unclick that. Anything that just does not look right, you can unclick and go back and check that. And like I said, the reporting year should always be 2025. And if you have more projects, you will get a little count of your projects down here. I've only got one page worth, but you can change your view and you can then tab through all your projects. So if you are ready to submit, you definitely need to click this top button here, which has a little asterisk saying it's required. And it's just basically confirming that this is representing your full portfolio. There's an extra checkbox here if you consent to having AIA share your firm's PEUI. We tend not to do this very often unless we're doing a specific case study for a firm and we want to kind of call out how well they're doing. But we will most likely email you before doing that, even if you check this box, but it's not required. And then you hit continue. And this is the last step, basically saying we're processing it. Your email should show up. It's pretty quick. Tends to show up within a couple of minutes. If not, give it a little time and let us know again if you did not receive it. So that's the way you do it if you are just doing it direct input. And I am going to show you quickly the bulk import process, which is basically the same process. It's just a little bit of a different interface. So if you're doing bulk import, you're familiar with this already, but it's the import icon on the company tab is where you want to go. Same setup. I'm going to choose a file I think has one error in it just to show you what that looks like. So it shows you what file you're uploading, and this is also where to get the templates here. If you're just bulk importing projects and data, that's all you need to do. If you're doing an actual portfolio submission, that is this lower section here. So it's basically all you need to do is click this checkbox and then select your year. Should always default to the top. Again, you get the warning and then hit import. And similar to the bulk import process for projects, you will get your count and then it's telling me I have an error, which is my office location is incorrect, which I already knew. So I'm just going to go fix that quickly and resave. The one caveat is we've occasionally seen if you have a ton of errors in your bulk import, you'll occasionally just get a kind of red error box, and it won't tell you the specific row or area that your errors are in. What we recommend is you reduce the number of projects in your portfolio that you're trying to upload to like 4 or 5. See if it's giving you specific errors on specific columns or rows, and then you can go back and check those and add your projects back in. All right, so I'm going to do this again. Choose file. Click my year. Give you a little warning here. And then that error box goes away and it says your import is successfully completed. You can now view your projects. And that is it for the bulk import part of it. And you can always go back, make sure everything is in your portfolio that should be. And then I'll also call out on the company tab. If you ever have a question about whether your submission went through, go down to this company resources section and make sure that the date that you just uploaded. So here it says bulk import. So that's what I literally just did. And then the previous demo should be this one before, which you should also get attached to your emails as well. So make sure this is all updated. If not, let us know, or if anything goes wrong and we can help with troubleshooting. So that is basically it for my demos. Any questions on that specifically? stop sharing for a minute. Or questions on other parts of the DDX? Anybody encountering strange errors or things they need some help with? Anything folks would like demonstrated? Nope. I can't believe there's no questions. Come on, somebody's got to have a question.
All right, I'll ask one. This is John.
Okay, go for it.
When you upload your bulk data file, and
Mhm.
then do you have to submit the portfolio at that point, or can you
No.
go in and see how it looks? You don't want to click on submit portfolio until you've reviewed it and it all
Yep.
looks good.
Yep. Yeah, general rule of thumb, I would, unless you're completely confident that your bulk import spreadsheet has no errors and all the data is totally correct, I would say rule of thumb is to upload via bulk import and then always go back and give it the once over and then you can submit the regular way. Um, just to do a double check to make sure nothing's incorrect.
Okay, because yeah, once you click on submit,
So you can always submit more than once. Yeah. So if something was really wrong and you said, oh, shoot, you remembered something later, you can always redo it in a couple of days or no problems
okay,
there. It's just, I would go check before you submit as just a general
yep,
process. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Mhm. And you can upload bulk import numerous times too. It'll just overwrite the last upload that you did. All right, I'm seeing some stuff come in here. To clarify, is the intent that every project ongoing in the office should be included in the portfolio or just ones with energy data that we've had time to model? So great question. We want every project that's active in your portfolio. So we usually say when there's a new reporting year or you have a phase change in your project, that's when things should be reported. You can always put projects on hold or you can make them inactive if you don't want to submit them, no problem. You can go back and reactivate them in a future year. That data will not be deleted, but we do want all of your portfolio submitted. And it's not just the well-performing, the high-performing projects. We kind of want a snapshot of all of it. It gives us a sense of where the profession is and how we're doing with energy efficiency and all that. Question not specifically related to DDX. Looking to use Insight for finding PEUI, but we're having some troubles ensuring all results are accurate. Yeah, so other Insight users on the call, can anybody speak to that? So I would say we will definitely make a note of your question for the Autodesk seminar, and Giuseppe, who's our contact there, we can definitely ask him about that. If you are available on the call on the 12th, would love to have that question. I personally can't answer it, but we will get an answer for you for sure. Or if you wanted to ask it on the peer-to-peer network, there may be some folks there, but we can definitely get you an answer straight from Autodesk.
Can you show marking a project complete?
Yes, give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, let me share my screen. All right, so sometimes you will get a mark complete button here. Gonna resort these. So if you're at the last phase of your project and all your data is complete, you can, I believe that's when it changes your button to yellow, so you can do it this way. You can also edit your project from here. So you see if there's a project that's on hold here, it will turn into a reactivate button. But I can show you when you're in the dashboard. It takes you right into the design page. It's up here, these little buttons. So right now it's saying green is active, on hold, project status updated, complete, or canceled. And it will still show up in your portfolio, but you can keep it out of your reporting. Is there another question that came in?
Yeah, we have one more. Why do you include these projects?
Okay, I'm seeing what are reload projects where we do not have control over the Title 24 UI? Do we include those in our firm snapshot of projects? Yes. I'm not fully getting your question if you wanted to come off mute, but Title 24 as in the energy code in California, is that what you're saying? Or was the question about controlling your EUI? Not really sure. The rule of thumb is though we want all projects that are active. Could you show us again where to find the template? Yes, I for sure can do that. So go to your company tab. And it's under the import. It looks like a direct upload from here, but this will take you to the page that has the templates. Yeah, it's sort of one step hidden here. Also want to call out that you can go on the help pages. And why am I blanking on my bulk import? Here we go. And the templates are here as well. You can download them straight from the help pages. And the guide is here, which is a PDF. You can get that as well. And this basically just links to the page I just showed you. Projects for K through 12. We don't have control over that. Just say yes, include them. Okay, yep. Definitely include them. There are cases where two firms are collaborating on projects. So one firm will have more data than another firm. We try to use the collaborator function so that we don't get duplicate projects. So that would be one case where you might want to combine your data in that way. But generally, yes, any firm that's under any project that's under a firm's portfolio and purview, we would love for you to submit. And if you have active projects, or sorry, built projects, we do now offer Energy Star Portfolio Manager connections. So that's a way to do, actually, I'm not sure if I can show you the full one here. But the way to do some post-occupancy, that's also a new feature here. Add Energy Star Portfolio Manager link. Just wanted to call that out as a brand new feature. All right. Any final questions? We'll give you a few minutes of your day back. All right, great. Well, please do check the YouTube if you have anything you want to go back and rewatch, or email the 2030 commitment email if you think of any questions in the meantime. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great afternoon.